Pisces, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to know why I read intimate tarot, specifically sexual energy, it will be outlined for you in the description box. In the general sense, I understand that sexual energy plays a part in who we are as individuals, and thus it stands to reason it affects other areas of our life, which is true for all energy. And I operate from that philosophy. The more you know, you know. But if you are that person who is sensitive towards the topics regarding sexual energy, sexual identification, sexual expression, I don't want you watching this one. If you do not value it, if you don't value that kind of energy reading, it's not going to do anything for you, okay? And that's fine, all right? I'll see you in a couple weeks, no big deal. But just to let you know, it can get very real, very intense, and that's one of the reasons why I read intimate tarot, is that we can see how far it can take us sometimes, you know, which again is true for all energy potential. First, we're going to start by pulling you an overview. What's going on? What's going on, please, for Pisces and their sexual energy? Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces and their sexual energy, please. We're going to take a look at the current as well as over the next several months. Show me that Piscean sexual energy, please. To be honest with you, some of my longest videos are intimate tarot. So extensive, so much depth. The way that sexual energy plays out into our life, how it affects us, how it makes us feel, what we think. Determining a lot of who we are as a person. How we perceive ourselves and how we perceive others. Okay, currently you feel that your sexual energy is under a trial. For some of you, it feels like your sexual energy is a form of power, or that there is a power play within that sexual energy, and it's a trial, it's a toll on someone's energy here. Is that sometimes the sexual energy between me and my person is quite the trial. Sometimes it feels like a power play or a power move, or I have to use my sexual energy as a form of power. And it can sometimes feel laborsome, power play in the energy. The sexual exchange sometimes feels more like I come together when I say we come together, and we are apart when I say we are apart. Someone has come to associate their sexual energy as a form of power that they can give or take when it's necessary or needed. Some of you feel that perhaps your sexual energy is being maneuvered in a certain way. Perhaps they feel that way about you. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Also, P.S., some of you might be wondering if a trial separation is not in order. That's for some of you. Okay. Show me what I need to see, please, for Pisces. What's going on, please, for Pisces? FYI, the 17th might be important to some of you. Power numbers associated with 17 as well as 36. What's going on for Pisces, please? Show me Pisces. And like always, take what resonates, leave what does not, reverse energies as it applies, cross-watchers same. Okay. The world, okay. As I said, for some of you it might be a trial separation. Okay, current Ace of Pentacles, crossing you strength. Do I have the strength to work through this? Closing out cycles, opening new ones. Do I have the strength to compromise? Surrounding you, 7 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. They're telling me they have established energy with you. That their sexual energy comes from a place of solidity, stability, foundation, pride. Okay? It says it's well established. Okay? And 7 of Cups, that they have love for you. All right? They can still find it there. They can still find their emotional as well as their sexual love for you in there. And they're saying that it's well established between you two. and that it's a founding principle for them in their own sense of independent sexual energy, that it's a core principle to who they are, is that the sexual energy is important to a founded relationship. They're saying this very strongly. I believe sexual energy is important to us in our relationship. There's still love here, and part of that is my sex too, okay? And it's founded between us, and it's founded for me as a person. You're telling me that I've got some cycles here. Opening, closing, something's shifting, something's changing, okay? And then you're showing me another structure of Eight of Pentacles. Your sexual energy, you know, can be fundamentally comparable to your person's, okay? You can both get something from it. It's well structured, it's well practiced. They're telling me that too. They're saying it's important for the relationship as they understand it. And what's crossing you is strength. You don't know if you can give to this particular equation anymore. You're questioning your sexual energy for this. It's not that you can't with the Eight of Pentacles. It's like, do I want to? So yeah, for some of you there might be a trial separation here. And for others of you, there is that sense of, you know, I see my sexual energy as a power, and I can either give it or I could take it away. Let's keep going. Next several months, Five of Swords, the Hermit, Two of Swords, who's showing me a lot of confusion, and I don't know. And there's things I'm working through with the Hermit here. You might have some Virgo in your chart, could be connecting to one, not the point. Five of Swords, a little bit of self-deception here. About how we're viewing and experiencing and putting our sexual energy out there with our person. We are trying to fix these things, the Hermit, okay? We're trying to look at this intensely. We're trying to heal. Why does sometimes I feel like my sexual energy isn't as always honest with myself as I'd like it to be, never mind with my person. So yeah, there might be some power play sexual energy here, where it's like you know you can give it and you know you can take it away, okay? And there's something here about that we're looking at because we're confused. We're very confused. Why are we confused? This is the question. Strengths. Seven of Swords. A lot of sword energy here today. A lot of sword energy here today. It runs contrary to your waters a great deal. I would feel better if I saw something for water, honey. You're saying that you can sidestep that sexual energy. Okay. So it is kind of coming across as sexual energy. I can giveth or I can taketh. It kind of depends on what I'm feeling or what my mood is. And that's something we're looking at. Why do we perceive our sexual selves like this? Okay? Because Seven of Swords, you're like, I can sneak away from it. You know? Obstacles. King of Swords. Your mind, what is your mind telling you? The firmness. Do you associate them with the King of Swords? Are you the King of Swords? That kind of determination, the willfulness. What are we saying to ourselves? What are we declaring? Moving forward, you don't know. Honey, that's way too much sword. That's way too much sword for you. Eight of Swords, you're saying, I still don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know. I don't know why my sexual energy towards this person is like this. It makes me uncomfortable, and then I'm like, no, it doesn't. I know exactly what I'm doing. Actually, sometimes it's on for them, sometimes it's off for them. I don't know what's going on, and I can't see it either. You know, Christina, get off my ass. I don't know what's going on. You know, this is where I'm going to point out to you, we're going to see some sensitive stuff today. And again, it kind of gets more to that intimate space. So again, if you are that Pisces who is very much on the sensitive side, okay, and we're not able to look at it, then don't look at it. All right? I've been getting up into everybody's business. And yours isn't going to be an exception. All right? So just to let you know, this is a lot of I don't know. I could, but I don't know. And you're not consulting your feelings at all. Now, I'm not trying to put it all off on you. They have a side on this as well. But how you are approaching this is I'm not going to approach it. Maybe there isn't an issue. Maybe there isn't anything to fix. Let's talk about it. The world. That sexual energy. Excuse me. Show me the world. What is cycling for you has cycled, trying to come through, pull through, close the door, open the door. What we doing? Yeah, so those two together at first, and it might still be a trial separation, Pisces. It might. In which case you're telling me you're still on the fence about it. I don't know if I want to give any more of my sexual energy to this. No, I can just sneak away from it. And it does seem to be under your power. But it's like it's a power you don't seem to want to recognize. Or you are seeing it as, I can give unto you or I can take away from you. And that is what you call power plays, okay, in sex. Excuse me, show me the world. Show me the world, show me the world, show me the world. Show me the world, please. Oh, we get a lot of negativity on this one. Nine of Wands, frustration, Hanged Man, King of Swords. There it is again. King of Swords is in the obstacles. Okay. You have a great deal of sexual frustration in you that suggests you don't like it. Something here about the sexual energy that you don't care for. So you kind of keep yourself distant from it. Actively, there is frustration, active blocking here with that Nine of Wands. And the Hanged Man, we have suspended sexual activity, but it's not completely cycled either. I still see it's with you. It's like I haven't made up my mind, sexually speaking, about me, us. I haven't. You are telling me you're frustrated, but you're also actively blocking any sexual cycle, I believe, with your person. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that there's periods where that's taken off, pause, but for the most part, it seems to be a kind of long-standing decision. No sexual activity. And I'm wondering if you made that decision consciously or unconsciously. The output is conscious in terms of non-sexual activity, but what's behind it? The reasoning behind it. Why? Let's take a look at your Eight of Pentacles. You're like, I could have a healthy sexual construct with you, but I don't know if I want to. Strength is in the opposition. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. And Eight of Pentacles is pretty decent, healthy sexual relationship energy. You know? It might be, predictable in that respect if it's practiced. That's fine. So long as there's love behind it. Okay? You know? Let's take a look. Show me that Eight of Pentacles here. Ace of Swords, your particular truth. Four of Wands, relationship energy, Chariot, Cancer. Okay, yeah, you know this as well. Some of you are in full-on commitments, possibly marriage, I don't know, but there is a relationship structure here that is a strong truth. You do not deny it. So you are telling me you are in an active relationship. So that kind of rules out for me the idea of you closing out a sex. You might have closed out a sex cycle in a relationship, but you are still in a relationship. Okay. And it's a strong truth. You don't fail to recognize it. And as I just said, that Eight of Pentacles sexual construct between you and someone else, it's cooperative, it's back and forth, it's practiced, okay? And the idea is like, I have love in this. I know I do. I know I have love in this relationship, the Chariot. You're like, I show up for this relationship with love. I know I do. You know this. You know this. You know you show up for this marriage or this relationship or this commitment with love. That doesn't seem to be the question. Doesn't seem to be your question. But the strength for the actual sexual energy itself, allowing it to activate, to come through. Show me that strength, please. Why is that blocking? I do apologize. Show me strength. Show me strength in opposition. Show me strength in opposition. Show me strength in opposition. Ace of Wands, Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles. You actively withhold your sexual energy from this person. It's a little deceptive, Five of Swords. Not trying to pick on you, honey. Real tarot, real life. This is real shit. That's why I do it. That's the difference between a good reader and a crap reader. We look at the hard things. So let's look at the hard thing. Strength is in your opposition. Not good. You don't know if you have the strength to maintain a sex-based relationship within this relationship, which I will again point out is active, which I again point out you say there's still love for it. Structurally speaking, you still have love for this relationship. It is practiced, it's there. You're saying what you contest is the sexual energy. You say you don't have the strength for the sexual energy, you're not into it. And it's active refrain. We haven't let go of it. I believe you let some of it out on occasion, but you don't really give to it either. Not really. Not in a way that says it's healthy or productive. The Ace of Wands is here, and smacked on that is the Five of Swords. So there is some deception regarding your sexual energy and how you convey it. Sometimes you giveth, sometimes you taketh. Sometimes you give nothing, sometimes you give something. Okay? So it's a trial, power play. Okay? It's a hardship. There's times when you let it out because it might feel right, but it's kind of like it's not consistent, I believe, and it's kind of like only when I feel like it. What's going on with your fire for this person? Are you not attracted to them anymore? Has the passion gone out for you? And it's hard to admit for you, right? Because you're telling me you still love the relationship, that your heart still shows up for it, but your sex doesn't. Not really. You withhold a lot of it. It seems like on purpose. But then you say you don't. You're saying I'm not withholding, but you are. That's the Pisces I'm looking at today. Again, not an accusation. And I'm going to get so much shit for this one. I am. That's fine. I'm still here. So if this isn't you, don't accept it. You upset yourself unnecessarily. Okay? The sensitivity sometimes is real. And I get that. But I also have a job to do. And if you want to say it's the other person, it's the other person. This is your reading. And just because it says Pisces in the title doesn't mean it's for you. So check your other placements, or I'll catch you on the next one. This is real relationship shit. And it's only shameful if we can't acknowledge it. Nothing is so hurtful as when we don't acknowledge what's going on with us. Or conflicts. What puts us into a place of fragmentation. And you do have energetic fragmentation here. You say you love the relationship, but you lost the flavor for the sex. Okay? You say it's not an issue, it is an issue. You say you don't withhold, you are withholding. Now, if you don't have sexual attraction for your person anymore, that's not a crime. But it is something that would behoove you to own it. Own it to yourself first. You won't know if you can have resolution on this subject until you get confrontational with yourself about it. And so far, I've got for you 2 Five of Swords. Blockage, non-permissible energy. If you love this relationship and if you love yourself, be honest with yourself. You can't force what isn't there. I'm not telling you to be attracted to someone you're not. What I'm saying is do yourself the justice of telling yourself first. Okay? Let's jump on over to this person. 7 of Cups. Show me that 7 of Cups, please. They're saying they still have love for you, even if they can't always find it. But it's coming from that place of it's established. Show me that 7 of Cups, please. The High Priestess, their intuition, 7 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Their feeling is telling them that the love is here. They don't question that. They love the relationship. It's grown at a certain length, at a certain pace, for a certain time. There's a lot of energy surrounding this that says time, 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 time. You've already shown me committed relationship. They're showing me something similar. They have put a lot of time into this relationship, just as you have. And they say that intuitively they feel there's still love in this relationship, even if the sexual energy has kind of topped off. Okay? They genuinely believe this. Just like you genuinely believe you still have love for this relationship. Okay? So even if they admit the sexual energy might have gone stagnant, the relationship energy still seems to be intact in their eyes. Okay? Some of that Ten of Pentacles, they're loyal to the sexual energy. They're loyal to the foundation. Okay? They say it's well established. You two might have been together upwards to 10 years or more. I'm guessing more. It's just time, time, time. A lot of it. A lot of time built in here. Right? The Lovers. Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords. They're very worried. They're very, very worried. They're very, very worried. You or they might have some very strong Gemini in their chart. Because it doesn't feel like the Lovers. It doesn't feel like the Lovers. It could be straight up Gemini, or they have very strong Gemini placement, or you do, perhaps. I don't ever really see the Lovers in this kind of position. Anyway, they're overthinking just as much. They're very worried. They're very concerned. Very worried. Very concerned. That yes, and it's kind of like they're reassuring themselves constantly. Pisces and I have a very strong connection. We have a very strong relationship. We have a very strong marriage. We have a very strong marriage. We have a very strong marriage. And it's kind of like a comfort. They default to that, just like you do. We're in a relationship. We're happy. We love each other. We love each other. And that's the reassurance on both your parts. Where you both are actually also similar is that you worry just as much about the intimate connectivity. They do very much so, because from this person's point of view, in their fears, in their deepest fears, they understand that a healthy relationship should have the sexuality in it as well. I'm really interpreting that Lover's energy not as the bond so much as the sexual energy. That the love should be naturally expressed in the physical world. It's part of that strength foundation in their sexual energy toward you is the Ten of Pentacles. Like the Lovers, that should be conveyed between you and I, right? The sexual expression itself. And they're worried because it's not. Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. You're showing me something very similar. So you are both hyper aware of the same sensitive issue. But you both maintain, it's okay. We still love each other. It's okay. And this is very much an internal dialogue on both your parts. You're not talking about it, neither are they. And that's what I'm saying. You're not in a position, as far as the Pisces I'm looking at, you're not in a position to discuss it because you yourself are not being honest about it. So if you're no longer attracted to your person, the fire's gone out, or you're just straight up not interested in sex anymore, you know that's going to concern this person, because you know it's part of their relationship identity is to have that in place. I got news for you. They're already worried about it because the evidence is reflecting in reality. And the evidence is that there's a lack of active sex. And you can't really dispute the 3D energy. Now, don't get me wrong. I have every reason to believe every now and again you let it out. But it's kind of like when you want to, and under certain conditions, or I don't know. But the absence is enough that it worries this person considerably that the foundation is not what it's supposed to be. But yet you both tell me, but we both have love. We both have love for this relationship. And that's all that counts. Disagree simply because in this person's point of view, foundation energy should include healthy sex. That's what they say constitutes a healthy relationship. And it's the thing they don't want to look at all because it's an important cornerstone from their eyes that is missing. And you're saying I'm not I'm not controlling the sex at all. It's not like that. I'm just in an off mood, or just it's not a big deal. So again, if this one's hitting a little too close to home and it's triggering, it's time to go. Okay? Real tarot is not meant to be a threat. It's a reflection of us and who we are. That's why we're here. So if you're looking for a magic bullet, that's not what I do. Of course, this isn't what I would see for you. Who would? Why would anybody? You know? I want to help you, but that means I gotta dig hard. And that means looking at some serious shit. Show me that Five of Swords, please. Show me that Five of Swords. Show me that Five of Swords. Show me that Five of Swords, please. Okay. Show me that Five of Swords, please. Wheel of Fortune. You didn't. Okay. I got it. That's the root of the deception. As I was just discussing, I'm trying to get to the root of this. That's the root of it. That's the root of the Five of Swords, where it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not withholding sex. I'm not. And then I don't do a power move where I give some. I don't do that. There's the root of it. Five of Swords, amplified in energy here. Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, Eight of Cups. What we have not come to terms with is that we are emotionally detached from this relationship. You showed me conviction. I have strength of heart for my relationship. I believe you. I do believe you, Pisces, when you say, I have strength of heart for this relationship. I respect my commitment with fullness of heart. Yes. Individually, honey. Take yourself out of the relationship context. Take yourself out of the marriage. You, as an individual person, are emotionally detaching from this person. And it happens slowly, over time. And it is something that you have yet to realize, not fully. That Five of Swords is blocking the Tower. It's something that we are slowly, painfully understanding, but it's taking a long time. It would require being confrontational with ourselves about our own deception. Let me repeat this. You have respect and care for the marriage, relationship, whatever this is. I'm leaning heavily towards marriage. You as an individual have begun to emotionally detach from your partner. You, being a water sign, means when you emotionally detach, you sexually detach. This is a very key component to water and distinguishes us from most other signs. Which is no joke. There are some things only water, real water, can understand. And the reason it's coming across as deceptive, honey, is because you don't want to see it. That's why that Five of Swords is playing into and wreaking havoc on your passion, and why you feel like you got to dig deep sometimes with that strength, man, to feel that you can have some sort of sexual energy for your partner at all. You're forcing pieces to fit that don't want to fit anymore. That's where the deception comes from. And that's why you have power play energy. And sometimes it feels like your sexual energy is just under trial. So every now and again you give some out, but it's not consistent and you don't really feel it. You're not really there. That's the Pisces I'm looking at today. I don't know when the full effect of that Tower will take place, because I see you blocking it, and it's overdue with the Wheel of Fortune. It was a long time coming in. this realization, and it's a powerful one, honey. I got it. I fucking got it. I can't begin to tell you half of the fucking towers I've had where I'm like, nope, nope, fuck no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, until eventually you can't keep doing that. I mean, you can, but you see the kind of havoc it wreaks on you mentally, emotionally, physically. It's going to take a hit. And all those areas. Your emotions, your love is important to you, as is your sex. And while you maintain the utmost respect for your marriage, you as an individual are not emotionally attaching to your partner anymore, which means your sex isn't either. Okay? You both take comfort in understanding that the relationship energy is still intact. They are very much in active, I don't want to see this. And the reason they need to see it too, they have their own stuff they need to confront. The reason they don't want to see it is because of all the time built between you, but also something that is characteristic to this person's personality that says a healthy relationship should have healthy sex in it. And that's something they don't want to see. It's one of their principles, but they're not acknowledging the principles. Why? Because then they'd have to look at the relationship more closely with you. You're doing something similar, but it's in reaction to what you no longer feel. They're just on the receiving end of it, I believe. Okay, show me the Hermit, please. With healing? Yes, I hope so. I mean, again, you cannot force yourself to emotionally love or sexually gravitate towards someone that you don't. The healing needs to be recognizing this. Show me the Hermit, show me the Hermit, show me the Hermit. Show me the Hermit. It could also be your person. I don't know. Show me the Hermit. Three of Swords, pain. Two of Swords, confusion. The world. Somebody's contemplating but not actively healing. We're contemplating but we're not actively. We're contemplating. Is it over? Is it really over? Is it, I'm confused, shut it down. Somebody here, we have the obligation to heal our towers, our most difficult thoughts, our most difficult fears, the most difficult subject matters, and someone's actively declining. They have the idea that they should be healing, but the question is, I don't know where to begin. Shut the whole fucking thing down. The world, Two of Swords, Three of Swords. This hurts too much. I don't want to think about it. It hits too close to home. Shut it down. So that's either your person, who they need to look at their principles, because they understood a relationship to have healthy sex in it. Not just the love, but the expression of it too. And it's also you, in the respect of, this is not happening. I strongly disagree with you, Christina. You know, I'm just not always in the mood. I strongly believe it's a little bit of you both. You don't know how to heal this and you don't know where to begin. But the question, as soon as we get close to that heartbeat, right, and putting our finger on it, it gets really close to home. This hurts too much to think about. I can't even conceive of ending this. Back away. We got to push past that. That Two of Swords, overwhelming confusion and pain, confrontational pain. And it's all its fears, honey. It's all fears. It's fears. Honey, Pisces, honey. Pisces, I'm looking at, you're afraid to see the truth, to admit the truth. It's not that you're afraid of this person. Clearly you're not. You clearly called the shots in the sex here. It's not that you're afraid of this at all. No, you're afraid of the truth. That after so much time has gone by, I no longer love my person. It's hard for me to admit that. I do withhold my sexual energy. I say I don't, but I do. It still means something to me, but it doesn't. I have to find the strength to engage in it. That's fear. It's hard to admit these things. These are truths. Hard fucking truths that we have to admit to ourselves. This confusion, so much confusion, frustration, anger, disappointment. Two of Swords, the Devil. Oh my. Oh, goodness me. Somebody here is just left to thinking over and over again, how can I bring it back together? 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 And we don't know how. How do we bring this ex back together? How do we... And it's a fear. Somebody's fear is so amplified. It is a fear that is incredibly amplified. This should be here, but it isn't. What does that mean? This should be here, but it isn't. What does that mean? And over again, and they keep coming up with non-conclusion. So again, you two are actually going through something very, very similar. But theirs, I insist, looks reactionary to what you are putting out there. Okay? You're both hyper aware of the same issue. And neither one of you's talking about it. Not really. How do I bring the sex energy back together? How do I bring the sex energy back? And it feels like a cumbersome shadow. Fears tied to someone's heart. Will it ever come back together? Will it ever mean the same thing? Will it ever touch, taste, feel, smell the same way? Will I recognize it again? Will it ever feel like it used to? Will it ever feel like it used to? It used to be so much easier. Yes, of course. And two people are in love. They express it easily, naturally. They don't have to think about it. They just do. They just give of themselves willingly. It's not a thought. It's not a plan. It's not a, well, it's been a while, so I probably should. It just happens. And the two people reach for each other. It's instinctual. It's a feeling. You put no thought into it. You don't have to hem and haw about, am I into it today? How long has it been? I'm not withholding. I'm not. The emotional absence that you have for this person specifically is a representation of the lack of sexual energy you have for them. If this was really, truly, a relationship based on the premise of compatibility, you and I are together for stability reasons, then this wouldn't be an issue. But you're both showing me sword. It's an issue. It's a big one for you both. So if you are that person who's defaulting to, well, we're together and that's all that counts, no, this is false. 5 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, Worlds, 2 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords. No. No, it's not, well, all is well that ends well. We still have a relationship and that's all that matters. Is it? Because you look really uncomfortable in it. Pisces I'm looking at says this is a major conflict for me. So it's not just, well, we have a marriage, so that means all is well. Nope. It's because the commitment's that much bigger, it reflects a problem that's much larger. Because the stakes are higher, right? Your sexual strengths or 7 of Swords is that I can dodge the sexual energy like a bullet. I can bow out of it, I can get out of it, I can sneak out of it, you know. Speaking of which, if you have Virgo in your chart, you're connecting one, check theirs out. Theirs had very strong notes of complication. I believe. 7 of Swords. No, it's not just you. Everyone gets a rough read. Scorpio just had a reading where they had to understand and admit that they were in love with a person who was likely in a relationship. Dealt with that. Strong feelings for it, and choosing to maintain a kind of friendly balance with that person. despite the enormity of the energy behind it. No, it's not all fun. But theirs was clean. No deception in it. So I believe them. This is why I'm having a hard time. Is sword, sword, sword across this thing. Page of Cups, Eight of Cups. There it is. Honey. Seven of Swords should not be in your sexual strength. I can get out of this. Eight of Cups, twice, literally here on your downline. Boom, 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 on the right. Eight of Cups twice. Nine of Swords, I don't know how many times now. You are emotionally checked out in your feelings for this person. Thus, your sexual energy dodges it. Does that make sense? Do we get it? They are absolutely 100% related, which is true, again, for most dominant water signs. Sun, rising, particularly Venus, as it correlates to intimate sexual energy. Especially if you have Pisces in your Venus. It stresses you out sometimes how easily you can walk away from this. And in fact, it actually makes you feel bad. You feel guilty. You feel guilty. Yes, you feel guilty because of the conflict in you that you have not addressed. Your feelings for this person have changed. You emotionally checked out. It happened over time. And I'm going to tell you this now. If this helps you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And they don't have a fault in it either. This is what happens sometimes. What did I say? How many times have I already said it? Think about it. You cannot force what isn't there. I'm not telling you, Pisces, fix your shit, go back and fall in love with that person and have sex with them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, Pisces, honey, your feelings have changed. They have changed dramatically. And it only causes you conflict is because you don't want to acknowledge it. It's not your fault. It isn't. But you are responsible with how you're dealing with it. Because somebody else is along for the ride too. You're telling me you have guilt upon your conscience. It's not your fault if you fell out of love. And then therefore you fell out of your sexual energy. It's not your fault. And the fact that you both bank on, well, the fact we're married, so that's good. That's safety. It gives you both a sense of relief that you have emotional safety. But you yourself personally are not in it. And it happened over time. Some people fall in love over time. Sometimes it happens instantly. Sometimes we fall out of love instantly, and sometimes, like you, the one I'm looking at today, fell out of love over a long period of time. And your sexual energy didn't have a chance to stand up to it. No way. Your sex is tied to your heart. Of course, when one got affected, so too did the other one. You can't, and if anybody there, by the way, if a cross-watcher decides to pop off on that, because Pisces has their fair amount of cross-watchers, quite a bit. You want to pop off on that comment and challenge me? I dare you. You can fall out of love. You ought to know. You've probably experienced it too. It happens. It does happen. And the Pisces I'm looking at, you feel a tremendous amount of guilt. You can't force feelings. You just can't. You can't force sex energy. You can't force love energy. You can't. I don't think it's any one thing this person did. Maybe you believe it is. All they're showing me is time. and that they still find emotional value in the relationship even if the sex isn't there, and that makes them very nervous. But they're still saying, and it makes them nervous. They don't like looking at it. Because from their point of view, as someone, I understand Scorpio had that 10 of Pentacles was in their sexual strength as a matter of course and healthy relationship energy as part of the foundation. I understand that a healthy, strong relationship has some sort of physical sexual component in it. This is how we bond with our partner and ensure the bond stays in place. Yes? And that's why this person's energy is nervous, because they're telling me they have a similar value system. Okay? There's not a sexual evidence here to say that the bond is still intact. It's not that they have to have sex. It's because they're saying the lack of evidence is telling me we're not as stable as I think we are. I don't want to think about it. Shut it down. Kind of like that. King of Swords is in your obstacles. Right here. You opened with it. Show me that King of Swords. Show me that King of Swords, please. Show me the King of Swords. Show me the King of Swords. You're afraid to mourn the foundation. It's your secret. There you are, the moon. It is you. I know, it's you. You opened with the King of Swords, baby. I got it. That's a big one. You're afraid of losing the foundation and everything that it represents as time has gone by and the years past. This is not a casual relationship. So for those of you who just started dating that super cute Pisces, this is not you. This is not for you. This is a real world marriage, I believe. That component they say that they understand is very necessary to a 10 of Pentacles, but it's missing and they know it. You're saying, yeah, I know too. And it's not there for me. It's my secret. I know that. Thing is, do you? The knowledge you have back here and how you act upon it is different than your actual truth. You're enforcing a King of Swords for very different reasons. Okay. Over here. Resisting, blocking the sexual energy, pausing it, putting it away, taking it back down. It's like, oh, that's, it's on me. I get to determine these things. Sometimes I'm in it, sometimes I'm not. There's a much deeper issue here with your real truth in the King of Swords and obstacles. This is what we have yet to come to terms with, and I saw it over here as well. That same thing you recognize, yes, I understand healthy sexual energy with my person is part of the 10 of Pentacles. Unfortunately, I no longer feel it, and that's my secret. It is not active knowledge. This is the Tower that is struggling to come in. That Tower, that truth, that realization, the game changer, the shocker, is part of that 5 of Swords, the self-deception, which kicked us back off over here, which you said, do you see the chain reaction of events here? One is leading to the other. When we're not authentic and honest with ourselves, we become very fragmented. The secret runs deep, as does the conflict. You feel so much guilt. And I'm going to have to say this, honey. It's unnecessary guilt. You can't take back the time built into this. You can't. It's like if I had known I was going to fall out of love, Christina, I never would have committed to them. That's everybody. That's everybody who's ever fallen out of love. If you had only known, you wouldn't have gone to the altar, right? Anybody who's ever been in a commitment where you took those vows, you went to the altar, you stood before God and family and friends. If you had known, how many years go by, 10, 15, 20, that you were going to fall out of love and that you would get all twisted up about your sexual energy, would you have committed? We don't know. We don't know. We don't. All we can do is do our best. Some bonds are stronger than others. I don't know what your two's premise are. I have not seen a Six of Cups. They showed me Lovers, but for very different reasons. It's coming across heavily as the sexual energy itself that they say is a key component to relationships. Not everybody is so strongly bonded. Why you entered? I don't know. I'm not digging into the past today. You would know anyway. You either resonate or you don't. So yeah, I have to insist it's not your fault. Had you known that this was going to, when you put your life on fucking fast forward, the day after you took your vows, I mean, would you have done it? Probably not. Or maybe you would have. I don't know. But is this worth the comfort of having some sort of emotionally secure relationship, which, by the way, you're not emotionally secure in it at all? Is that enough for you to bear this level of guilt for something you had no control over? You could pick it apart, say this is when it happened, this is XYZ, good, that's a start. That's a start. That's a start. This is when it began to unravel. This is when it started to get weird. This is when I stopped kind of putting myself forward in that way. This is when I started to get uncomfortable with our sexual energies between us. We start there and allow that tower to come in. Anything, I want you out of this space. I've gotten so good at dodging this energy or subject that it plagues me. It's a guilt upon my conscience. I want you out of that. You saying that in your heart of hearts, that same energy is important to you too. Just not in this foundation. Not anymore. And yet, still massive confusion. I still don't know what to do. I still don't know what to do. I still don't know what to do. Eight of Swords, Eight of Swords, Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, Two of Swords, blindness, procrastination, blindness, procrastination. There's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. That's not going to help you. It's just going to increase this. When we are honest and authentic with ourselves, our soul is released, honey. Our soul is released. You wouldn't know it because you haven't done it. When you allow yourself that level of truth, so many parts of you are going to start to heal very quickly. And if your two's relationship converts to indeed a practical marriage, then it needs to transform in that direction where both parties can choose it. Okay. Is that on your mind? They wouldn't choose that. They wouldn't choose that. They wouldn't choose that. You know your person, right? They wouldn't choose that. Is that what you want? Compatibility? To settle? Or do you want to free yourself? King of Pentacles, practical thing to do. Two of Cups, the Devil. Somebody's telling themselves over and over again they still have love for this. They refuse to look at the bigger issue. It's practical. Somebody's kicking in the old practicality argument. Procrastination, put it off, but it's going to be a fear in the back of this person's heart and mind constantly. I feel more like this is this person. You're not budging, you're not saying, you're not speaking, and they're going to continue to deny the growing knowledge as well. This is what I see for the next several months. I refuse to acknowledge that division between us. It's not all that. It's not all that. And it's that mentality of it's not all that that's dragging this thing out like a dead horse. Capricorn energy does not have to be. Gemini, I'm sorry. It's not a lover's bond. It's just not. I know this person wants it to be. because the actual sexual exchange is a strong component to who they are in terms of relationship function. So it's like it's not there, they know it, but instead of addressing it, they're going to deny it, which means they're denying their needs. By extension, that's part of their truth. You're denying what you're experiencing. If you two are going to transform this, then you both have to rely on the truth. And the truth has to be, I still want to have this relationship, but it needs to be practical only, companionable only, and they have to agree. I don't think either one of you actually wants to agree to that. But you've kind of accepted it without agreeing to it, and that's why there's so much energy fragmentation. You should never agree to something you do not understand. And if you continue, it's literally like signing a contract without reading it. You two are signing a contract that you're not reading. We're not going to talk about this. These are the new rules of our relationship, even if they're painful. Because if you two actually talked about it, you're going to discover this is what neither of you wants. You both kind of take comfort in what the relationship stands for, not for what it is. That's what I'm saying, baby. Gotta get real. We gotta get real. Even if it's slow, even if it's painful, we gotta get real. We need to start laying down some honesty. And it starts with the balance of the self first. I told you, get square with you first. Let the truth in, even if it's slow. And you will begin to relieve so much of that pressure. For some of you, the next full moon in Libra will actually be significant. For some of you, the summer will be very important. 7/7, next Cancer season. Some of you want to sneak away from a Cancer. But yeah, we're in a position where we can't address the truth of our feelings, and that's exactly what we need to do. I know you two take comfort in a certain level of the relationship, but the love and the desire, love, desire, and sexual energy, the tarot is, the star in tarot is just desire. The highest reaching desire. The longevity. Okay, long reaching desire. In other words, one that's always there when you reach for it because there's love behind it. It's not there anymore. The best of you is there, but it's not with this person. Perhaps you think, and that's it, we're talking about longevity, isn't it? Maybe you think it's too late. You couldn't get another one now if you tried. Bullshit. Right? I think everybody has that kind of thought when you put so many years into it, 10, 15, 20. We start thinking about legacy, longevity. We start banking on our commitment as an excuse to do anything or not do anything. It's under someone's judgment to take action in their best interest, out of self-love and self-protection and self-care. It is on someone's judgment specifically to have the energy to love themselves enough to do what they need to do. And then the healing begins. Like I said, next Cancer season might be important. July specifically. But it is on someone's active decision here. You, them. But it is on someone distinctly. Queen of Pentacles here. To find the energy to act in self-interest and to self-love and to give them a new start or a new beginning. But it is a decision. And at the way you two are going, we have issues here of codependency, especially banking on that relationship that I know is there and that on paper gives you comfort. And as you can see, this is why I read Intimate Tarot. Do you see how far it goes? Do you see how far it goes when you start pulling the thread? People act like sex isn't a big deal. Wrong. Wrong. Someone who is truly spiritually inclined understands that their sexual energy is very important to them. Yes. I didn't want that to be, honey, when I pulled those cards. I don't know if you saw the hesitation when I saw them. That made me nervous. Rewind it if you don't believe me. I'm pretty sure I hesitated. Trials and power. Sex is a trial, but it's also a power play. Sometimes you separate from it. Sometimes you show the power of it. You separate from it. And I don't think you mean to. I think it's one of the many things that lends to your sense of guilt. But again, it's not the right kind of guilt, honey. You are no longer emotionally attached to this person. Therefore, your sex isn't either. It is a tower that cannot be fully realized because of the deception behind it. Self-deception, the shit you tell yourself to keep it in play. Which is why the strength is in your oppositional energy. It's strength to keep this going, to keep engaging in it. No, it's not. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. It's just, it just doesn't happen a lot. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong, Christina. It's not about frequency, Pisces. It's not about, let's not confuse that. And I'm not into technical arguments. Let's not do that. It is not about frequency. You can have mind-blowing, life-shattering sex with somebody once a month for all I care, just so long as it means something to you. We're not talking about frequency. It's the will behind it. Do you want that person's sexual energy or do you not? That's what we're talking about. It has nothing to do with frequency. Nothing. It's the quality, the sincerity. Is it felt or is it not? Wasn't sure. I'm still not sure. Is there something in here? The main male? You either are the main male or we are discussing. And for some of you the first might be important. Possibly April. Some of you are the main male, or we are talking about the main male and your reaction to them. The family room, with that masculine energy here, we feel an obligation here to keep the family room, the home, in a certain construct. Like I said, I'm not confused about that, neither are you. You both take comfort in knowing that the relationship's there. Mature man. Oh, it's the age progression. Oh, I rarely see that. Oh, wow, I rarely see that. That's amazing. I felt that was a mature energy, but in male, that's we're talking 30s. And then we have the progression. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Their hair's gone from dark to white. The main man to the mature man. We're older now. We're older now. Her hair's gone from dark black? Short, dark black, curly, maybe? Where's it? Dark brown. I can't see it quite. Now it's gone to white. This is either who this person is that we're discussing, heavily masculine, obviously, and they have matured, and this is how you've experienced them over time. Or this is you. And you said, as a mature man, it is my responsibility to keep the home, the family intact. Emotions, fine, you can go ahead again. Go ahead. Put the sex aside. You can even put the love aside if it's not there anymore. You can. People do it all the time. Just know, the both of you, that that's what you're choosing. Otherwise, the pain remains. The conflict remains. Again, it's you guys. First, you got married, right, in a relationship, and you were looking at the contract. You were happy to look at it. You're like, hell yeah, fuck that. Put my name on it. Yes, bitch. Now you're signing a different contract. I guess I'm agreeing to this. It hurts. I don't want to fucking see this, but I guess I'm signing it. That's a different kind of contract. One where it's blind, confusing, procrastination. I don't want to see it. So if you're going to choose a contract where there is clearly a lack of love, call it for what it is, lack of sex, then that means the foundation for which your relationship has changed, and you both have to choose it in order to be at peace with it. It has to be consciously chosen. Otherwise, you two will never find peace. And people do it all the time. I'm not encouraging you to. I don't think that's what either of you wants. So we got to talk about it. You either consciously choose a loveless, sexless relationship, or you choose not to. But don't give me it's my job as a man to keep my house together. When we're fucking miserable, we can't talk about critical issues, and somebody clearly doesn't have the love anymore. Somebody's saying that the other person is... Somebody's saying, I need them, I need them, I need them. This is false. It's false dependency. And it has crossed somebody's mind more than once. Do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need this? Is there false dependency here? Someone, and I do believe it's that same male, is contemplating this question. Is it codependency? Is it falseness? Are they really that dependent? Am I really that dependent? Am I acting like a child? Can I really not live without this person? Somebody's thinking that distinctly, quietly. Eighth might be important. No? No. Well, divine feminine. I can tell that commitment's very important to this person. Loyalty. Codependency. And yet, I do believe it's that same person. I do believe it's this same male figure, the one I told you who's been raising an eyebrow about these things for a while. Still maintaining the family home. But it has been, time has passed, their hair is now white. There's nothing wrong with that. I like a little maturity on a man. No, this is, I mean, I don't know. That could be playing into somebody's sense of dazed and confused. Codependent. I told you somebody was raising an eyebrow about that same fucking thing. Do I really need this? Is this false dependency? Am I wearing a mask? Are they wearing a mask? When somebody says they need me, are they lying? Am I lying to myself? Whoever is with that responsibility, particularly that masculine energy, the one who's raised a couple eyebrows, we need to think about this. And I have every reason to believe it's a reflection of it. Earth energy, very much so. Doesn't have to be. King of Pentacles, Two of Cups, the Devil. No, everything's fine. Practically speaking, I know exactly what I'm doing. There's no sense of codependency here at all. I refuse to look at it. Somebody's looking at it. I think it's that same person who says it's not a concern. They've thought about it. They've thought about it. They've fucking thought about it. Are they really so helpless? Are they really such a child? The sexual energy, yes, is ghosted. Spring. New perspective. Damn it. I saw it. I know. That's on somebody's mind as well. I saw the switch from I don't want to think about it, everything's fine, to I'm going to start thinking about it from that same person, whoever this is, that same person who said, I don't want to think about it, all is well. They're starting to think about it. Spring. New perspective. I saw the fucking switch. We went from actively thinking about, is that false dependency? Am I really such a child? Are they such a fucking child? Do they really depend on me? Do I really depend on them? Is this what I want? Or am I telling myself? Or am I telling myself that's what I want? It went from non-active to active, and it starts spring now. Now. Yeah, we've been trying to dodge that thought like a bullet. No, somebody's going to start thinking about that here in spring. God dang it. God dang it. Oh, yes, karmic partner. I told you, they're not all bonds. Sometimes they're karmic lessons, and typically the ones that fall into place the easiest, the ones that represent the least challenge, you know, the ones that challenge us the least, the one that makes us work the least, end up being our most karmic. The shit we just fall into and we allow ourselves to fall into it. Well, that was super easy. Let's sign up to this. Or, well, I got him knocked up, so let's get married. The shit that just kind of falls into place like that. And then we allow ourselves to say, this is it. No. You are mirroring each other, but not in the right ways. I told you, you both take comfort in knowing the relationship is there. Listen to your intuition. Yes. Okay, that's enough. Yes, intelligent. I told you. Some of you it is Gemini, just straight up Gemini. It's not a lover's bond at all. This person either has a very strong Gemini component, perhaps in their Venus, but they have so much Earth. Something here about that Gemini energy that's I don't know. Intuitive, you, Pisces, with the medallion of Cancer. Yeah, I saw some what looks like potentially some sort of energy that's a bit more apparent between you two in July, but somebody's thinking about these things now in spring. Pisces, Cancer. No. E, Taurus, the medallion, Aquarius, Libra, the great white shark, Scorpio. E. That's it? One letter? E? Okay. We got everybody, we got quite a few folks here today. Some of you have very diverse birth charts, or your partner does, or you both do. Some of those outstanding signs are, again, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus. And I got just a dash of Scorpio. Okay. That's why I read Intimate Tarot, honey. I didn't know what I was expecting. I don't think I was expecting anything when I sat down for you today. But now that this is here, it's kind of a lot like the marriage I'm saying. This is not what I expected 10, 15 years down the road. You know, no. I'm very concerned I didn't see your water at all. Except, rather, the absence of it. A whole bunch of swords in between you two. This is something that, in all honesty, honey, it should have cycled out a long time ago. I'm sorry. But it also means when we have things that cycle out, new things can begin if we are so brave. And we are so strong. And especially if you're that person who I saw, where I saw your age progress in a time lapse. It was really unique to see that. Really unique to see that. You went to having colored hair to white hair. I know you're thinking it's too late in the game to switch shit up. It's too late in the game. Is it? Somebody was marked with a new beginning. One of you was. But even then, if you must choose a partnership that is karmic, then let it be realistic karmic. In other words, I actively choose this, and I know it, and you do too. No expectations of big love. Not anymore. No expectations of staying together in love. No more expectations staying together based on our love coming together in a way that's united and healthy and expressed. But understanding, you and I, consciously so as adults, that we're together for the sake of partnership. That, if you consciously choose that, to both of you, that will ease both of your tensions, but you both have to choose it. This kind of blindfold, I'm not aware of this. Regrets. Yeah. There might be some shifting of energy in autumn. I see someone starting to learn more about their karmic lesson here in spring. There will be some critical energy exchange in this way in autumn, where things might become a lot more obvious. Some of you have recently received an apology from an old soul bond, which has led to positive change for some of you. It is not this, it's outside of whatever this is. It's for some of you. Some of you. You'll learn more about your karmic lessons and feel the regret starting spring and really hitting you in August. Autumn. And for, what is this? Some of you might have received, some of you might have recently received an apology from a soul bond, an old one. Possibly an ex. It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with this. It's created positive change, and it has a chance for union. It has a chance for union. Okay, that's for some of you. That took me down a weird rabbit hole. Okay. The next round of Intimate Tarot will not be for another 3 months. Then, of course, as usual, the standard round of readings is every 2 weeks. So your next reading is in 2 weeks. I don't know what that's going to entail. It could be a continuation of this, another version of it, and hopefully, sorry, but hopefully I tune into a other group of Pisces. And if you are this Pisces, if I tune back into you, I want to see more conscientious change, a willingness to look at things. Somebody here in this dynamic is very slowly. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's you. I think it's the person you're tied to. But it could be. I don't know. I don't want you ever to be in a position where you feel like you have to make decisions about coming together with somebody physically, and can I put them off for a night? That's no good. That's no good. That's no good. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I know you don't, and you feel guilty. So stop feeling guilty. Speak your truth. Okay. Put in the comments. I know it was a rough one. I just don't want you to feel this way. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. They're not your enemy. You're not their enemy. But the way your energetic entanglement suggests you two are at war without acknowledging it. And it's also unnecessary. It's also unnecessary. You can choose to change, but it does require someone else's compromise as well. Assuming that's what you want. Okay? Put in the comments as you see fit. Take care. Be well.